All right, what's up, everybody? This is Jack, joined today by Kris on the LFC transfer room. And Kris, I've taken a bit of a hiatus off of the lives on the channel, so I haven't had a chance to really say it. But Kris, we're signing players. This is a truly remarkable experience to be able to say someone might be joining the club pretty soon. But that's happening. We have Luis Diaz earlier today. Fabio Carvalho is in a very advanced negotiations. But Kris, how are you doing on this Sunday evening?
I'm good, man. I'm good. To quote John Henry, what are they smoking over there at me, bro? John Henry. I mean, bro, someone nicked his wallet, as we said, you know. No, it's great to be here and actually talking about transfers. The channel's been going really, really well last couple of days because we've actually signed some players. So, look, and here's to another one, the one that we'll be discussing now, and then we've also later on tonight, I know you've had a lot of Diaz content, but we're going to get even more content with Pipe Sierra,
Yes.
the journalist who's going to be joining us live. So that'd be amazing if you guys can come and well, yeah, join us for that.
Give some good support on that. I'm really excited how that one turns out, because he was a tremendous source on that. Because there's a lot of question marks on would anything happen in regards to a transfer. And he kind of almost broke that dam for us, which is he's always going to be loved in Liverpool fans' hearts. So I'm interested to hear more about him because James Pierce gave a great insight into the transfer itself. Excuse me, the player himself, but the transfer has a lot of details that are interesting as well. And it is interesting, Halo mentions in the comment here, Salah playing for Egypt at the moment. They're going to extra time against Morocco. Salah scored the equalizer. Toughest goal of his career,
Mo
Chris.
Salah.
Did you see
Come
that
on,
goal?
man. No, I haven't seen any of it.
Well, all you have to know about it, toughest finish of his career. I'm joking. It was from 2 yards out, and there was no goalkeeper. So,
I was going to say it would be do well to beat that Salzburg one.
oh, it would indeed. I can't believe he still scored that. But anyways, Fabio Carvalho. I mean, you spoke to Jack, I believe, getting a bit of insight into him. Kind of, what do you expect from Carvalho? Well, is this something that excites you? What are your early thoughts, Kris?
This is something that excites me tremendously, Mr. Edwards. It really, really does. I think we're talking about the best young talent to come out of the championship in a long, long time. We spoke to Jack on the channel. It came out 2 hours ago. It's already on 1,000 views, which is ridiculous. So thank you so much for their support. No, he is a 10, a creative 10 who can play wide on the left, but he's best in the 10. And in a Fulham team full of littered with star level, he shines above all. You know, he is so unbelievably creative. The progressive numbers he's got are just immense. And the fact that apparently the fee is 3.5 million
Yeah,
is like, it's jaw dropping how Liverpool are the only club in. How is this happening?
it's amazing.
Really?
It's amazing. Anthony mentions what's happened to this club. I miss the days when I could just say, "Oh, nothing will happen." What am I
Well,
saying?
we've been saying that. We've been saying that. I literally said I'd put my house on Liverpool not signing anyone this January.
Your
And
house is
look,
gone. The house is gone.
house is gone, bro.
No house to live in, but Luis Diaz and Carvalho and a Liverpool kid. Who really lost? Who really lost?
Exactly. I can wear a coat. It's sound.
It's an interesting one, Kris, because my knowledge of the championship and of Fulham specific is not very strong because I don't watch it that often. But I almost have zero doubts about any transfer because of the record that we've had with our transfers. That I just know that every deal that is done, because they are so fine, there are so few of them, I have such confidence in it being a success.
Yeah. I mean, well, even if he isn't a success, Jack, we're pretty much guaranteed to make money back on it.
Okay.
£3.5 million, 19 years old, probably going to be signing a 5 to 6 year contract. It's a guaranteed money maker. We could sell him in the summer and make money, but I tell you what, this player is not going to be just for the summer. This player is going to be sticking around and being part of this squad for a long, long time. He could provide something that no other player in our squad does. He's got the feet of Thiago with the work rate of Firmino. That's what I would describe him as. Which is and yes, he's a very raw, and I wouldn't want to say he's ready, but there's a lot to like about him, honestly. And if it was a choice, I think there's a question there from Dean. Would I rather him come and stay and go out on loan? I'd rather him stay. I'd rather him stay and get within this squad because this boy is special, bro. He is so special. And Anthony says Coutinho regen. He's not really like Coutinho in the way that he doesn't really shoot from range. He's more of a
Uh,
shooter from clinical situations, so he's more likely to score. But yeah, he's a hell of a player, man.
I saw some tweets from Sam McGuire on him, who's a great source for some pretty interesting stats on certain players. He said that people are likening Carvalho to Coutinho because their dribbling technique is very similar, but that Carvalho is already more advanced as a goal scorer. I kind of want to loop back on this. I disagree ever so slightly with you on this one. In my opinion, at least, I would like him as a 19-year-old consistency, see out the season.
I suppose, yeah.
I think that it could benefit him as well from being week in, week out the guy for Fulham. And if they go get promoted into the Prem, I mean, that just is a boost of his confidence. And then when he joins us, it's in a very interesting spot. And I don't know how that means in terms of squad numbers, because I think at 19, he's listed as English and FB ref. I'm not sure if he's a homegrown or not.
He is homegrown, yeah. He is
But
homegrown.
I don't think he would push out a player then necessarily, but it would allow, I think, consistency. But whichever way happens, I'm fine either way. But man, it's just kind of looking back a bit more broadly. I mean, Kris, did you expect to see this a signing, let alone two, in like even 3 days ago, like
No.
like Wednesday, even
Let me
Thursday?
tell you right now, this is the expected from me, right? I will tell you and prove it that on January 27th, which is 3 days ago, we did a stream on transfers, and we put Salah's contract as the main thing because we were like, we didn't think anything would happen. Yes, Carvalho was in that thumbnail, but purely a discussion point. No one thought anything was going to happen, and the fact that this is happening is very alien to all of us. I had plans this weekend, and now they've gone out the window. You know, I luckily managed to get out last night, but apart from on Friday, but apart from that, nothing's gone on. Like, it's just been crazy stuff going on.
Yeah, it's a great point from Anthony that we were talking about summer signings. Well, not me personally, but as a transfer room, I don't think anybody could have foreseen this, and I think it just further underscores how this club operates in complete silence. You only hear about stuff when you hear about it. I think after the Van Dijk transfer fiasco, since then, has there been this Diaz, I think, was one of the most, like, you knew before it happened situations. Like, has there been a transfer in the recent, maybe Konate? Konate was very
well, yeah, but the thing is, people know that they're going to happen, but they never know when.
Yeah.
I think with Diaz, the rumors have been going on since November that Liverpool were really, really interested in signing him. And obviously, no one thought it was going to happen in January. No one knew about it until Tottenham bid for him. And maybe that was part of the tactic. I don't think we plan to sign Luis Diaz this January, if I'm being honest with you. But I think Tottenham forced our hand a little bit, and we still got him for a reasonable price. Carvalho is different. I do think we plan to go in for him throughout the whole of this with this month. It's exciting attacking talents, the new generation of Liverpool Football Club, and I'm very much sure Carvalho is a massive part of it.
Well, look, I think that you mentioned that the Diaz thing. I didn't get a chance to read the article because it was behind a paywall. Basically, that they described, I believe it was the Telegraph, maybe not. I'll check in a moment. They described that Tottenham had it all secured. Diaz contract done, agreement with Porto, and supposedly Diaz's agent went to Liverpool, said, Diaz would prefer Liverpool. Here's what has happened. Can you match this? Liverpool did. All the agreements came in. Daniel Levy was very angry because his side lost a tremendous player, but he was able to bring that one in. And that was, I think, a very savvy bit of movement. And I think if Diaz had gone to Tottenham, we would have been justifiably very angry. We'd miss out on another target. This, I think, is, I don't want to get into an FSG and FSG out debate at all, but it's very reassuring to see that they will act under pressure to pull something off. So that's great to see. But Carvalho, what's your level of optimism on this transfer? Because we've had it from Pierce, we've had it from a lot of good sources. Are you strongly optimistic? Where is your level of optimism if this happens after the Diaz one?
It's very high. I don't think we'll be working to the deadline either. I think because he's got 6 months left on his deal, we've got all the wiggle room. He is, as Jack said, he's got his head turned by Liverpool. He has had his head turned by Liverpool. Doesn't ended his performances levels. I think he's elevated his performances because he wants to impress. He's a kind of character who wants to impress, and he wants to be part of an absolute a top level. Oh, is Salah got an assist of Egypt winning? That'd be great. I'd love that. But yeah, I'm Jack Collins was 8 out of 10 on this happening before anything was announced, and I'm almost 9.5 out of 10 on this happening. I'm so optimistic. And look, next up is Salah's contract. That's the only thing that needs to be done now.
Yeah, Mo Salah has set up Trezeguet for Egypt, so they are now leading in the AFCON quarterfinals. Which I'm of the opinion would Senegal and Egypt play in the semifinals or the final?
I have no idea. I have no idea if I'm being honest with you.
I want to see either Mane or Salah lift it. That'd be beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really care because the first game we've got back is Cardiff, and neither of those would play. So, so I think Burkina Faso and Cameroon are in the semis. I think Egypt will play Burkina Faso, which I think is quite a safe little pass into the final. So that would be lovely. That'd be rather nice. Hello, you sexy bastard, Nath.
Exactly. Yeah, no. All right, so it's a good point from Anthony. So only way would be the final. That would be quite sad.
No. I don't care. If one of them wins it.
But
yeah,
it would be nice. It would be interesting. But and I think that we're talking about Mane, Salah. How does Carvalho kind of play into these other things? There was a comment. I was going through some of the comments on the page and on our YouTube videos, drop in comments, even if on videos, and we'll get in, reply to you, get engaging with you guys, saying that there shouldn't be a rush to sign Mane to a no contract just because he used to be good in the past. He's nearing 30, move him on. How does Carvalho impact decisions for other players in your eyes?
I don't think he does. I don't think he impacts, especially not Mane. I think Diaz impacts Mane quite a lot. Unless Mane can really stump up some form in the second half of this season to value what he values himself at, then I think he will be the one who leaves. I don't think Carvalho impacts that purely because he is young. He can play on the wing, but he's preferably in a 10. And I do think Jurgen Klopp may use him either on that right-hand side of central midfield or in a 10. So yeah, I would 100% say he doesn't impact any of our players. The only ones he may impact maybe Oxlade-Chamberlain. Maybe he's seen as that sort of filling that void because Ox has only got 17 months left on his contract as well, which breaks my heart. So
I was going to say, how does that make you feel, Kris? Like Ox is the man out.
No, I wouldn't mind it if it's Carvalho coming in, and let me tell you that.
That's fair. You know, it's interesting because he's a right footer, I believe. Right? I'm not talking about my.
Yeah.
All right, he's right footer, and you mentioned that he's like Coutinho almost in terms of where he could play potentially in the midfield, not in terms of styles as well. Maybe one a bit further forward. Could he slot in that right center mid spot? Because we saw a great video from Kris, not you, Kris, our other Kris, who's a football coach, talking about the 4-2-3-1 that Liverpool play, where basically Henderson operates as an attacking midfielder, which I love. Jordan Henderson, attacking midfielder. I don't know if I love him. I don't know if my love for him goes that deep. Could he play in that right central midfield spot, or would you kind of see a tinkering in the formation to kind of function him a bit differently?
I think he can play there. Definitely. I do think that spot is reserved for Harvey Elliott, though. Let's not forget this man's come back. Did you see his goal in that friendly? It was just insane. I'm really, really happy for him. He's back and fit. Everything's going up Millhouse a little bit. I'm not going to lie, because we've got Elliott coming back. We've got Mane, Salah, Keita be back for the next Premier League game. We've got Diaz coming in, potentially Carvalho coming in. Thiago will be fit. Like, Jack, I don't want to get too excited.
The title's happening this year.
I don't want to get too excited, but I'll tell you what, it certainly boosts our chances if we have a player like Carvalho and a player like Diaz in our ranks. Like, there's certain chances. I genuinely think, like, League Cup, FA Cup, they're definitely on, lads. They're definitely on.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. I mean, I haven't been able to read too much material on Diaz's impact on the current squad, but if everyone's able to stay, this is a squad that, I mean, and this, I think, almost reaffirms everyone's cries that we were just one player away. I mean, we needed, like, Diaz came in And now all of a sudden we're talking about the squad depth's fantastic. He's one player, and the squad depth is not fantastic.
And I'll tell you what now, mate. And I'll tell you what, right? The squad depth already is good. It's good. It's a good level of squad depth. It's just not Manchester City levels of quality and depth in every single position. Now, I would say if we bring these two in and Mane stays, Firmino stays, Oxlade-Chamberlain stays, Keita stays, I don't think they will, by the way. I don't think all of them will stay. But if they all stay, we're talking a squad that is capable of challenging Manchester City. I'm not going to lie. I'm really not going to lie. Why couldn't it? I mean, you've got Mo Salah, you've got Sadio Mane, you've got Bobby, you got Jota, you got Diaz in those forward roles. And let's not forget, Minamino has scored a lot of goals this season, as has Origi. You know, they've contributed as they were. I think they'll both be leaving at the end of the season. And let's not forget that Keita and Oxlade-Chamberlain have had moments this season as well. Milner will be leaving at the end of the season. But like this squad is full of it. And we need probably a midfielder and maybe a right back to replace Nico when he probably leaves at the end of the season. But apart from that, I think we're solid. I'm not going to lie. I think we're more than solid to challenge for this title.
Yeah. LFC Spectre makes a very good point that I shouldn't symbolize it as just Diaz coming in. Harvey Elliott's coming back, which is a big impact because with him in that right central midfield spot to contend with Henderson. But I mean, because you always categorize great depth as two players in every position that could really kind of do very well.
Two internationals, I would say, like two established international players.
Alisson, Kelleher, Trent, Nico.
Bradley as well.
Matip, Gomez, Van Dijk, Konate, Robertson,
and Phillips. Still Phillips, just about. He's still hanging on
as a fifth choice. I think he's fantastic as just a fifth choice guy.
And Reece Williams, even though he's not, great, but we move.
Fabinho, Milner, backup defensive mid. I would say maybe.
Yeah, Milner, Morton as well.
I mean that's I think a DM to back up Fabinho is a good thing. That's another discussion. Then you got Elliott, who I think is better than Henderson. Elliott, Henderson,
Jones.
Left side, Jones. Then you got Thiago, Keita, Ox, maybe Carvalho if he can play in the midfield. I don't think there's a great immediate backup. Actually, there is. There's Thiago then Keita. So that's a great immediate backup. But then you got great depth as well. Salah, you don't need a backup for Salah. You just kind of if he never
Salah, and then you can play Elliott there.
Yeah.
You can play Mane there. You can play Diaz there. You can play even Jota can play on the right.
Yeah.
I know it's like that depth chart where it uses multiple players, but they are genuinely versatile players,
Yeah. And then middle Jota, Firmino, Diaz, Mane. That's tremendous depth.
By the way, 70 of you lot in the chat, by the way. Elite.
Beautiful.
We started if we can get that to 100, by the way. If we can get that to 100,
Kris,
share it all.
Is today the 1 year anniversary of the start of the channel?
Let's have a look. When did we actually post our first video? I don't actually know.
Because this could be actually quite an emotional moment for the two of us. This is the 1 year anniversary with our highest live
account. January 30th was the video we posted, Meet the Team.
Man, 1 year. 1 year.
1 year of this.
And this is we're talking about potentially our third transfer to talk about. Well, actually, excuse me, we had
Fourth.
Davies and Kabak, who rest in peace to both of them. They're not both. But I mean, like, just compare the moments, like that was made out of just necessity. We had to bring in Kabak or Davies, or else we would have been starting just goalkeepers at center back at that point. And now we're adding from a position of strength. We don't need Diaz. We don't need, Carvalho. No. But we're adding them because it's smart to do so. And it's unbelievable. It's amazing. There's a lot of good options. I think it's the Fekir transfer forever scars me. He has kind of warmed my heart a bit. It has warmed my ice cold heart. But I think that, I'm confident. We're seeing some good sources on this. I don't know. I'm gonna toss it to the chat. Do you want to see Carvalho this window? Let's assume he signed. Does he go back out on loan for you, or do you bring him in right now to train with the squad for the next 6 months, play with the squad for the next 6 months?
It's a really difficult one, isn't it? It's a really, really difficult one.
Because Kris, in a fully fit squad, how high up does he rank in terms of this depth chart?
It's a difficult one because we haven't really seen him work with this Liverpool squad. I do think he is the best thing to come out of Fulham. in a long time. I mean, we won't count Elliott because he came out quite young, but you're looking at players like Ryan Sessegnon, who ridiculously impressed in the Championship, but probably overperformed. Some people are saying that Carvalho could do a lot more in this Fulham team, and that's something very, very encouraging. Oh, look at his little cutie! Look at this little cutie. We love you, Louis. We love you, bro. And yeah, this is the one argument you have a look at. You think, should we bring him in to learn from the players like Thiago? Imagine learning from Thiago and and even the likes of Milner. I think Milner's going to be a huge miss, by the way. I'm not going to lie. I think he in the dressing room, he's going to be a massive miss. But you have got Henderson there, you've got Van Dijk, you've got Salah, you've got like so many players you can learn from. But then at the same time, you play that against the fact he could be the main man at Fulham. He could get them promoted, and they will get promoted unless there's something catastrophic happens. So it's so difficult, mate. It's a difficult one to say.
Part of the Championship table at the moment, Fulham are top, 5 points clear of Blackburn, who are in second, a further 6 clear of Bournemouth, who are in third. They're looking very on track to get automatic promotion. And I don't want to touch on the Greenwood situation, but you mentioned the dressing room, the system in place. That kind of thing wouldn't happen at Liverpool. I don't want to say wouldn't happen. It's far less likely because of just the culture that exists, and that's why I'm so confident and so excited to see if Carvalho comes in and with Diaz coming in. That when I read that James Pearce article where he talked to Pipe Sierra, who we'll be speaking to very soon to give an insight into him as a journalist and his transfer, so make sure to subscribe for that. Diaz is a player from a very poor background in Colombia, really humble, really modest, very hardworking guy who loves to play the sport. Great culture fit, fantastic culture fit.
Mane's the same, Salah's the same. Players are recruited as much at Liverpool for their personality as they are for their ability.
Yes.
Obviously, we will not discuss anything to do with the alleged attack on the footballer's girlfriend, but I do think, and I do also think, and I would encourage everyone out there in the comments, there's 75 of you, if I can at least influence you a little bit, don't go and use this as a point scorer.
No,
this is not a point scorer. At the end of the day, this is a matter of a girl's safety, and it's paramount that she is looked after more. It's not about who he plays for. It's not about it's a real issue. And if you're a man out there, right, and I can see there's a lot of you in here. If you're a man, look after your missus. All right, look after them, because you don't know. You don't know what has happened. You don't know what will happen, but just look after them. Yeah, this is really, really big.
Yeah, no, it's the reaction has been mixed. You tweeted something out, Kris, that and as a channel ourselves, we have a very big responsibility in taking these human moments, these non-football moments, and being very cautious with them and not using them to get interactions. Because fundamentally, we want interactions, but it's sad to see for her. It's just a shame that kind of thing happens there. And Nath hits the point right on the head. Kris is not only sexy, but he's smart as well.
Oh, the man has both. Fella.
Man has both. What can he do? Getting it back to the transfers, obviously, it's a tough segue. Kind of looking forward. If Carvalho is brought in, does this? Thank you, Nath. I appreciate that. Does this make you less confident, more confident of summer things happening, that you're seeing kind of transfers happen again? Or is this the kind of thing where they're going to say in the summer, you got guys in January, stop being greedy?
No, mate. Look, there's going to be serious movements this summer. I'm very convinced about it. We're looking at Milner going, which frees up £150,000 per week of the wage budget. That's a lot of money on a player who is a squad player. At the end of the day, we're going to see probably one of Mane or Firmino go. There's 100 people in the chat. What the fuck is going on? There's 100 people going. What's happening? Jack, this is the time for change. We have to make sure this chat is this squad is gradually mixed in. It's we can't have a 2014 situation where we go out and splurge a load of money on a lot of players. We have to keep it coming through, keep it going through. And I'm just so optimistic for this season, next season, and even when Jurgen Klopp leaves, okay, which is probably going to be 2024. We've probably only got 4 or 5 transfer windows left with him.
Yeah.
I'm confident now that this team is forward thinking and that it's not going to rest on its laurels.
And Gary mentions Julian Ward. I mean, people were
King
worried.
Julian.
People were worried when Michael Edwards was leaving. I had no concerns because it's a group effort. Michael Edwards may be the face on a faceless organization, but Julian Ward, I mean, he is cooking some things up, and it's Anthony makes a good point with Jacob Ramsey. He is a saucy player at Villa. Saucy.
Let him develop under Stevie, and then Stevie can take him with him.
Honestly, if that would be a very good segue almost to bring him into the club if he developed there and bring him in.
This is ridiculous.
I've kind of lost my train of thought because I'm just amazed that we're in 3 digits of viewers, because I remember back in the early days, we're on our 1-year anniversary, not to make it about us in the slightest, but it's good to see so many people here, so many people enjoying this. The title of this video is "Who Stole FSG's Wallet?" And I don't think we would have expected a year ago to be seeing these kind of moves happen. But these are the kind of brilliant moves. People are saying Bellingham's name a lot. I would love Bellingham. I don't expect it to happen because I look at Diaz, I look at all these guys that are signed for a great price range, and they just happen almost out of nowhere. It's brilliant to see, because I think a Florian Newhouse would almost be very similar in terms of he would be like a 30 million pound player.
We're still on that train, Jack. We're still on that train.
I am. I think it's impossible not to happen at this point. I don't know.
Now, I think with Bellingham, I'm getting very, very much the same vibes as I did with Diaz. Jack's off. Jack's had too much of a good time. He's gone. He's bloody gone. But everyone who's still here, with Diaz, we have this. I have the same sort of vibes with Bellingham.
I'm still here, don't worry.
He's still here. I have the same sort of vibes with Bellingham because the links are absolutely relentless, like they were with Diaz. And he, I've been absolutely thrown off by Jack just dipping. But with him, as I'm just going to point it to you, Jack, is that with Bellingham, the links are almost as relentless as Diaz, and as Thiago's were. And I don't know whether he is the generational talent that will break the bank for, if you know what I'm saying.
I've kind of lost my train of thought as well because, have you seen Stranger Things? I don't know if that's a thing in the UK. There's a show on Netflix.
Yeah. I know Stranger Things.
Well, basically, the signings have caused me to just profusely bleed from my nose. Like seeing players actually has just caused me to I don't know. Sorry.
We're not used to this. We're not used to this.
My body's like signings, and then my brain just starts just exploding, and it causes me to just bleed profusely.
More of Jack's sexy voice and his bleeding nose. That's what we can't wait for. But yeah, 145 of you in here. Origi and Taki. This is a really good point, Jackie boy.
Yes.
What are their futures, mate? What are their futures?
I've always believed, at least that HR court. This is a fantastic point. So many people are here. My body just can't handle it. For me, I always imagined us kind of hanging around on Origi and Minamino until their price points kind of hit a bit of a higher point. I think Minamino's performances recently have kind of pushed him up a bit. I've seen that they want £20 million for Minamino. That I think would be a fantastic price. You make about nearly 3 times the amount of money you spent on him. It would be good for him to get more minutes and have a better first team role somewhere else. Origi's really tough because I would almost say that Origi makes more sense in terms of keeping him around because he's already proven that he does not need very many minutes to be able to make an impact. And he's comfortable in that role, being that super sub. And it's almost a benefit of having a guy who kind of just can, show up every once in a while and make an impact. So I think Taki would go out before Origi would. And because Minamino, right, he's a 10, at least in his best spot, And so, or he just doesn't, he's kind of an awkward.
I don't think he's got a best position, Jack. And that's the thing. But also, the thing is, Origi's got 6 months left on his deal.
Has he really?
Which is the only thing that I think he'll be off at the end of the season, if I'm being honest with you. But unless he starts, I think he needs to start another 10 games. And is he going to start another 10 games? No.
Start featuring another 10 games.
Start. He needs to start another 10 games. And if the news I've heard is true. So, yeah, it's not going to happen for him to get another contract extension. So I think Origi's gone. I almost see a value in keeping Minamino. if I'm being honest, because he can play off the right and the left and through the middle. I just think as a body, he's worth it. If we bring in another forward, aka a Bowen, which is not done, we're not done with the Bowen. All right, we're not finished. Then we can continue to we can sell Minamino, I think. But I think for now, just the addition of one forward with Origi definitely leaving in the summer, I think Minamino's worth keeping, if I'm being honest.
Look, with just Diaz and Carvalho, I don't believe either have to leave. It'd be ideal if one of them left, but I don't believe either of them have to, which is fascinating for me because maybe you just keep them both. Because if you don't get a good offer, I mean, Origi
I think in January we keep them both.
Yeah,
I
think
it just all depends on. It's weird. It's a weird one, isn't it?
It is a weird one. And Haler makes an interesting point. You know, is it bad business? I think it's there's a trigger option. You know, if he makes enough appearances, he comes back. I think him walking on free is probably the best. I don't see him leaving, you know, for money, you know, this window. Minamino maybe if you get a good offer, but I think he can kind of stay as well because if you think about it, you know, fully fit, you now have 5 top-class forwards: Salah, Mane, Jota, Firmino, Diaz. Oh, I have to add a 5th player. This is going to take a bit of getting used to. I was going to say, yeah, now you have Diaz. I have to add a 5th player. Then you begin to factor in, do you bring in Carvalho? Elliott can kind of shift forward. Cade Gordon's very young. He's already made a few appearances. Trent having that tweet about him. Clearly, he's got a very bright future here. I'm just interested if how many minutes they'll actually get, because they are 6th and 7th choice if Carvalho doesn't come in, and then Carvalho could almost displace them as well. I think Leeds would be a very interesting spot for Minamino. I see him there.
Yeah, definitely. As well, I agree with everything you've said, Jack. And with Origi, we've had him for 7 years now. Now, if you offset the 10 million over those 7 years, you're talking 1.5 million a year, 1.5 million a year. I think the club will see that as, you know, maybe we can afford to let him go. For Taki, we bought him in for 7 in 2020, and I think he's a much more sellable asset purely because, you know, he scored a lot of goals in the Carabao Cup this year, like Origi has as well, I suppose. But he's also got years left on his deal, and I just think Origi just wants to leave. I don't think he wants to be held like here and now anymore. So, yeah, it's certainly it's a difficult situation with Taki and with Divock. I think if it all depends on the situational offer, we don't have to force them out, but at the same time, it wouldn't be. We don't have to force to keep them, if you know what I mean. Anything can happen.
The way I view Liverpool's rotation is I always say that they need to be signing 23, 24, 25-year-olds because that is just a good age bracket for the transition of players. Because then when they're hitting their peaks, that's when the other players are declining. So Mane now at 30, I would imagine he has 6 months to a year more, unless Liverpool sign him, of being in a Liverpool shirt. That means that Diaz, 26, 27 years old, is perfectly peaking. The next generation of players that are brought in, I think, has to be, if you're buying players now, unless you're buying players that are strictly for rotation, which would be a Minamino, Origi type, have to be very young, like Carvalho, 19 years old. Where, because you think about it, when Diaz is 30, 31, when you want to be rotating him out, 5 years from now, it's 5, 6 years.
Oh dear.
What's happening?
Charlie has just said that Salah might be injured. Oh God!
How bad?
Oh no!
No!
Charlie,
don't ruin the vibes. Don't.
Charlie has just messaged in the writers' chat and said that Salah could be injured. Now this could be bad. Charlie, I'm looking for updates in the comments, please. If you are here, this would not be good news. If it is true, I'm sorry to completely check. Apparently, he might be shattered instead of injured, so it might just be only cramp. It could only be cramp, guys. I'm sorry for clickbaiting you.
Chris, I may remove you. I may just remove you from the entire channel.
No, we don't know. He said this is Charlie. We blame Charlie. Blame Charlie, all right? Hashtag blame Charlie. You know, on Anfield Agenda, you have blame Connor. We have blame Charlie here. Blame him.
All right.
Fraud.
Searching Salah and going latest on Twitter is never a good idea because there will just be so many like tweets.
Yeah. This is an interesting one, Jack. Rory said it's only cramp.
All right. Blame Charlie for making us worry for a moment.
Blame Charlie. We can't stand that, Charlie. Van den Berg.
Yes.
What are we saying?
Okay,
Ginger Maldini?
going back to my original point,
Go on.
before Charlie derailed us with the solid discussion, good gracious, Charlie, saying that, 19-year-olds, teenagers, in 5 years, when you have Jota, Diaz, and apparently other players of this age bracket, when you want to be rotating them out, maybe potentially, you want young guys, because in 5 years, Carvalho will be 24, which would be the age bracket we'd want to be signing to replace. So that's how I view the transition going to Vandenberg. I think that makes a lot of sense. Having Vandenberg kind of come in and over many years, 5 years, kind of replace. Because I can almost imagine Van Dijk having another 3, 4, 5 years in him. And that's when Vandenberg would be coming back in. Yeah. So just kind of update for anyone who's coming in now. Carvalho, heavily linked, £5 million was the figure that I saw. Kris, I don't know if you've seen a more recent one. But he only has 6 months left on his contract. He's a winger, can kind of play as a number 10 for Fulham.
He's a number 10 who can kind of play as a winger.
A better way of framing it. Thank you.
Yeah.
8 goals, 2 assists in the championship. Did Jack talk a bit about, how Fulham play and where he kind of plays in their formation?
Yeah. So they usually play a 4-2-3-1 with him in the 10. He is the primary creator. He creates things for himself. Without him, Mitrovic does not score the goals he does. He creates so much space. He is determined. He's young, and he's got his head turned by Liverpool, which I'm kind of happy about. If I'm being honest with you, he is honestly so special, and I think he might be one of the biggest talents to come out of English football for a long time. This is the Louis has just said 2,270. Let's try to get to 2,300 by the end of the day. That'd be sick. That's only what 30 more subs. You lot can do that. And
Kris, let me know if you need to get out of here to do the Pipe interview.
No, mate, we don't have to go till 6:30. So I'm free. Let's just keep going. Let's just keep riding this wave, bro.
I almost had a nightmare, a heart attack, because I always have to add 5 hours. Because I live east coast of the United States, obviously with the accent. So I was adding 5 hours, and I added 6 for some odd reasons. I was like, oh, it's 6:37 p.m. UK. Are you missing Pipe's in the stream? But he's sitting there like, why isn't Kris joining me yet? There was a great piece in The Athletic by John Muller, who I believe is an American. So have to love the guy.
Soccer.
Writes for The Athletic UK. And literally his description in the UK is his description in the for The Athletic is he writes about analytics and he calls it soccer, but no one's perfect. And I was like, this is my new favorite human. But solid sub that's a good thing, or
yeah, I'm guessing so. Apparently he's fine, but he's just got cramp. So.
Okay, that's good to hear. He made a great piece about pass receivers and making threats by movement. They calculated a new stat called like threat by pass receptions. There are so many new stats that are so confusing. The top 3 players in the entire Premier League for threat added by movements, by pass receives, was Diogo Jota, Sadio Mane, Mohamed Salah. Top 3 players in the entire league were Liverpool forwards. That's a very vital, very, very vital aspect. I would not be surprised if the viewer count just absolutely plummets after hearing an American say soccer on the stream. But Carvalho's ability to make space will make him a great asset. It's fascinating. Honestly. Because maybe do Liverpool change to a proper 4-2-3-1 where the 10 kind of does not operate as the right-sided central midfielder, but as a proper through-the-middle 10? Because Carvalho could almost instigate that.
I mean, it all depends on. I think we would need a defensive midfielder signed for that. And Carvalho get in Egypt, well in. We love that for Mo. I think they're good. Do they go on and play Burkina Faso or Cameroon? I don't actually know.
I'll look at that, Kris.
But for Carvalho to play in a proper 4-2-3-1, we would need another defensive midfielder. And let's not forget, I think Harvey Elliott could play in that 10 role as well, pretty easily. Curtis Jones could do. It's so. There's so many options with these young boys. They really, really are. And we have got a video, Gabriel, on a Liverpool actually playing 4-2-3-1 this season video, which Chris O'Hare did. Someone could put the link in the chat. That'd be incredible for that video. But it's a really, really top quality video. Don't watch it yet. Stick with us. But he's a professional football coach, and you can go and do that. So it'd be an amazing move There it is in the chat now. So that is the Chris O'Hare's video about 4-2-3-1. Really interesting. But don't go anywhere yet. We'll talk even more about the transfers, mate.
Yeah, a bit more on that video is the way formations kind of play is, it's not a literal, because when you look at maybe a formation like Google, look at Liverpool's schedule and you see the 4-3-3. Players don't always play there. Henderson's a bit more advanced. Trent is very much more advanced than his flat with the rest of the back line. It's very interesting. And to kind of go back to the point, it will be Burkina Faso versus Egypt and Cameroon versus the winner of Senegal and Equatorial Guinea. So it's
breaking news, by the way. Breaking news. Secret Scout has reported that Fulham's offer for Carvalho, there will be no loan back option. Oh.
Kris, I say we just stick on the stream until it's announced, because at this rate, it's going to be announced like before you'd have your interview with Pipe. Like that.
Yeah, make sure you stick around for that interview with Pipe. So yeah, really,
is that going to be live? Is that going to be live on the channel, or is that going to be it?
I don't know if I can do it. I'll do it live or not live. It depends. We'll do a video. We'll make it a video. But yeah, gonna be insane.
Is it really Cameroon versus Egypt? I'm reading this ESPN article that's saying it's Burkina Faso versus Egypt and Morocco.
Well, there we go. They're fraudulent. There's nearly 200 people in the chat, by the way. I absolutely adore you. I absolutely adore you, human beings. Make sure you subscribe as well.
Oh, just to ask you again, Kris, was that secret sources like someone telling you, or was that
the source is called the Secret Scout?
That's what I thought, because I think some people might have been thinking you have like a source or something.
I have a few sources. You don't know. Slow down.
If a Swansea player was linked to Liverpool, would you have some insight on that? Maybe a source or two.
Potentially there. That's why I knew that Reece Williams wasn't staying there, like from the start of January. Like it was guaranteed not to stay. But yeah,
it is a good point you make though on Carvalho and the need of a new DM. I think Frank Kessie might be interesting, because he could, I think, almost operate as backup for Fabinho.
I think he's really closely linked with Barca.
He doesn't feel like he's going to England at the moment. But he is, I think some sort of holy midfielder who can operate as I think if Carvalho is signed, we've added some forwards. The next priority for me is not a right-sided central midfielder who can attack like a Bellingham. It's more so for me a guy who can play as a left-sided 8 or a defensive mid, basically kind of replacing Wijnaldum finally. You've broken 200 viewers, by the way, Kris, which is a very fun thing to say.
Yeah, but it's incredible.
At least for me, when I look at it, is I think a Cassie would be very interesting like that. Zakaria could have kind of done that, but he's going to Juve. That's probably a summer signing. Milner kind of has that job locked down until the summer, because then if you bring in 2 DMs, Fabinho and I think Thiago could operate for Barcelona, or excuse me, for Bayern Munich. He played as one of the midfield pivot in a 4-2-3-1 when they won the Champions League as a right-sided guy there. I think you could almost see Thiago and Fabinho as a midfield too. But then again, you're kind of playing the same formation more or less. But Carvalho really raises some interesting possibilities if you bring him in. Yeah,
it's really, really sick, isn't it? There's so much that this team can do, and being more flexible is probably something that we could ask of them. There's a lot of players who fit our 4-3-3 system. And I do think we did go to a 4-2-3-1 at one point with Shaqiri at the top of that diamond, which is incredible. So yeah, we've got a lot going on. I do think that the Carvalho could provide something like that. So yeah, it's looking good, mate. I'm very, very excited for the future of this squad. It's going to be incredible.
I agree with Dan here. We mentioned Salah with his injury.
This is the next one, isn't it?
This has got to be the next. I don't think any people. When reading the Athletic is such an interesting readership base because they're so, like not stable, but they're so like just rational. They were saying no players bigger than the club. Salah could leave. I was looking at that saying, what on earth are you talking about? What on earth are you talking about saying that Salah could leave? No, there's no way that you are bringing in Diaz. I refuse to believe Diaz is a replacement for Salah. I refuse to believe that. That is just that's 2 steps forward, a mile back if you let Salah go, because whoever he signs for is going to just be better than you. If he signs for Real Madrid, they're better than Liverpool. Stands for PSG, they are now better than Liverpool. That's how much of an impact him losing the subtraction of him and the addition elsewhere. Salah has to be the next one. Has to be the next one.
Yeah, 100%. It really, really is. So, make sure you're all subscribed though as well, to the channel. So it's been it's been excellent, really. All of you guys being here, it's been sick. The news on Carvalho we've got is that he is probably going to join without a loan move. So he's going to join the squad straight away. Going to be insane, mate. Going to be insane.
It's gonna be crazy, honestly. Just the depth that will now be there, and I saw a comment earlier. I wanted to pull up on it, but it might have been about a half hour ago. So I don't know if I can be able to dig back to it. Is who the players who might benefit the most from the additions of Carvalho and Diaz might be Sadio Mane and Jordan Henderson, because those are the two guys who I think have their positions most at jeopardy with the returns of Harvey Elliott and these signings. Because Mane has a phenomenal guy to compete with him on that left-sided forward spot. So what is Mane's reaction going to be? If it's anything like not I think if it's anything Robertson's, it could be that he almost is pushed on by it. You know, he has a dip in form. A guy can kind of replace him, bring him in. And I think that it's just, and Henderson as well, having automatic starters never works. Never works. It's a squad game. You always say those words, Kris. Because I always ask you about, is this part of this actual starting 11? And then you say it's a squad game, Jack. And it always infuriates me because you always dodge the question. But it's going to be great for Mane to have a guy who got to push him. Because I think Mane has a lot more to give. But he needs someone who I think what infuriates me about Mane is he refuses to take players on. Diaz will have no problem doing that, and that will cause him to really, I think, push Mane.
I think, we're going to learn a lot about Sadio Mane in terms of his true colours. I mean, I genuinely think he's a lovely bloke, and I think he's a class player. But is he finished or is he not? And that's going to be proved by the fact of Diaz. You know, if the impact of him is Mane improves and scores more goals and contributes more, he's done all right this season. He has been okay. But yeah, I think the introduction of Diaz really, really helps. You know, we saw Robertson this season was faltering. Tsimikas comes in, excellent. Been really, really, really good. So, and then he's come back, and I think Robertson's probably in the best form of his Liverpool career. Yeah. So hopefully that happens with Mane. I think it's a little bit different in the fact that Robertson's younger. He's 28 years old now. I think Mane's 30 soon, and the durability of a left back is longer than a durability of a winger. But look, I'm willing to be proved wrong. I'm very much willing to be proved wrong with Sadio.
Hear me out though. I'm going back to Carvalho really quick. Should he be loaned back? Should he be bought now? On February 5th, Manchester City play at home to Fulham in the FA Cup. Now, tell me why we shouldn't loan Carvalho back to knock Man City out of the cup. And if we loan him back, he can't play against us if we draw Fulham. Kris, come on. You got to have agents elsewhere, you know, just knocking other big sides out. That'd be interesting.
It would be.
But so after the reason why I pulled up the Man City schedule is because on January 22nd, they drew with Southampton. And the thought crossed my mind, why do I not believe in us winning the title anymore? And then I was like, it's Man City. Diaz and Carvalho, how much do they push the needle in terms of your estimations of our chances of winning the title? Let me pull up the 538 title odds for the Premier League. Because at the moment, it can't be very, very high. Pulling it up now. Liverpool's chances of winning the title are 17%. Man City's chances are 82%. So at the moment, 17% chance to win the title. Diaz and Carvalho, how much do they push that needle for you?
I don't think so. The only thing for me that is going to help us beat Manchester City is Manchester City. They will have to drop a lot of points. That is, at the end of the day, they will have to drop a lot of points, and we will have to win the vast majority of our games. We're going to have to go on a 13-14 game winning run. You know, which this squad is possible and capable of doing. It's been proven that they can do that. I'd say it probably increases it by 2 or 3%. and the rest has to be made up by the rest of the squad and Manchester City.
Yeah.
So look, it's amazing, and look, we've got some of the Anfield Agenda community in here as well. Hey Liz, hey Jen, hope you're doing well. But yeah, it's great. You know, I'm not as convinced on us winning the league. I still think Man City are far too good and consistent over a league format, but
Yeah.
I certainly think it helps us in the cups and the Champions League.
We've also broken 300 viewers, Chris. I mean, did
Ridiculous.
we have 100 in the stream before this one?
I don't think we've. I think that we had about 6. We've had plenty in watch-alongs.
Watch-alongs aside,
But this has gone crazy. It's the most we've had, though.
Thank you to everyone for tuning in.
Yeah, so, it's ridiculous. I mean, should we make it an hour? Should we make it an hour? We got 10 more minutes.
I can do another hour and a half. Another hour and a half.
I might have to go after an hour.
Hey, Pipe. Sorry, mate. We're getting record numbers. Can you actually have Pipe just hop on the stream?
Yeah. Go on. Come on. Let's get these likes up and let's subscribe. We're nearly at 2.3K. Let's get there. Get there right now. James freaking Milner. That's who it is. Incredible.
I think, you know, I said in a few streams ago, actually, it might have been on the Anfield Agenda collaboration. Maybe it wasn't. I don't know. I said that the season's a failure. I don't think I'd be that bold in front of Craig. I don't want Craig to dislike me.
We love Craig.
I think I would have. I said it would be a disappointment if Liverpool did not win a trophy this year. Thank you very much, Jen.
We love you, Jen. Viva Jen.
Woo! It would be disappointment if Liverpool did not win a trophy this year. A failure is what I said, actually, the exact words.
Yeah.
This has raised the chances of winning the trophy this year, and it has reinforced my desire that I think it's a failure if they don't win a trophy this year. Carabao Cup, you have one match to win the title and win that trophy. FA Cup, perfectly in that competition. Champions League, we're as good a side in the Champions League as anybody else in the world. So Chris, I think that the league may be gone just because we've had a bit of rocky form up to this point. But second in the league and a cup treble, I think that's possible, man.
And look, this is not a bad season. I think people are disillusioned by the fact that people say second is a bad season. No, it's not. Okay. If we look over the course of Liverpool's 130 odd year history, I think it's 130 this year. Liverpool have won the league 19 times. So that means that 111 of those years, Liverpool have not won the league. This is, I know it's difficult to gain that perspective, but this is how it is. You know, we need to gain it, because if we don't, then we'll be over expecting too much. We said Liverpool should go win 4 trophies every season. No, they shouldn't. History tells us that shouldn't happen, you know, and over ambition can be the killer of a love and a friendship and a passion for a club.
It can. No.
We absolutely have to remain, vigilant in the fact that we won't win it every year. But tell you what, there's more and more trophies that are becoming more and more possible with the way that this squad is being built. And thank you so much, Liz, for the super sticker as well. Absolute hero. We will actually try and get some stickers and some memberships going at some point. Obviously, we're still quite small, so we're just doing that for now. But I'm very, very happy indeed.
Anthony has the expectations of a top club. 6 trophies a year. You need a sextuple every year. Is it sextuple or is that 7?
Yeah, I think that's a sextuple.
Okay, yeah. We need the sex. We need it.
We do, and that's what these transfers are, bro.
That's exactly what they are. That's exactly what they are. I saw this coming from Ryan. Ryan just with the most cold-blooded sign Carvalho, loan him to Blackburn. They're second in the league. So you buy him from first in the league, loan him to second. And then have him knock him off the ground. That would be cold-blooded. Cold-blooded. I don't think there's no chance that happens. Because they would be like to title rivals essentially in the championship.
Yeah.
I just think, Chris, it's amazing, you know, to be on this channel talking about actual transfers. Not for once, obviously, but things are actually happening.
For sure. It's gonna be great, because I think this summer's going to be very active. I think there's going to be a lot of stuff going on nowadays that we're going to continue to use. Keep subscribe to the channel. We've got loads of stuff coming up. We've even got a video coming out tomorrow immediately on Christopher Nkunku. I know we're changing we're going transfers again. We're going to talk about Christopher Nkunku. We've got videos on Aurelian Chouameni. Got Luis Diaz videos coming out of our arse. It's so good. And of course we're going to cover some outgoings as well. I mean, Nat Phillips is the big one, Jack. I think this January, I think he's probably the one that, I mean, with Newcastle signing Byrne from Brighton, I have a feeling he might be headed there.
It makes sense, I think, because he would be paid heftily, which is a factor for these guys. It's their livelihood. He'd be a starter, and he would get recognition for a side that's growing. It would be perfect for him, I think, because I don't think he can't walk in with his current credentials to a side that I think he's good enough for. Like, who's he good enough for? Dude, I think he's better than Maguire. I'm not gonna lie with you.
I'm going to agree with that.
I think he's better than Harry Maguire. And again, how high a bar am I setting? It depends on who you are. I think for Phillips, you know, he needs to play consistently to prove how good he is. Because he and people may say, why not have that here? He's fifth choice here. I think that Newcastle will be perfect for him, and they might pay a little bit, £15 million. I'm happy with that. I think two of those three guys might leave this window. That was just flashed on the screen: Divock, Phillips, and Taki. I think two of those three. Phillips would be kind of an interesting one. That one only happens, I think, if Carvalho happens, because we don't need to sell him. He's an English player as well, which is an impact for squad registration. It's a tough one, Kris. Yeah. Would you want to see Phillips go?
I think for his own sake. I'd say the same for Nico Williams as well. I think for his own sake, Nico needs to be sold in the summer. I think he will go, especially with Connor Bradley. I think Nat Phillips is another one. I think with Brighton having that fee for Byrne, it would be a good place for him to go. No, look, I'm pretty darn happy with whether he stays or not, because he's a great option, and I just think he needs to go. But yeah, Carvalho is one that, as we've all seen and we've spoken about for the last hour, Jack, is going to be very, very good and very saucy.
Robert, thank you very much for your super chat. Is that what it's called, Kris? I'm not experienced with this kind of stuff. Is that what it's called?
FA VARs.
Yeah, what are they called? Super chats?
Super chat, bro. Yeah, the super chats. Absolute legend. If you do want to get your super chats, it means you're guaranteed to get it read out, and we will thank you very much. I mean, I don't know what else we can do for you, but we'll do anything. You know, we're nice kind of guys, but not literally, man, not literally. But no, but with the FA VARs, that's a non-league trophy, so we respect that.
Is that really a non-league trophy, or is it you talking about?
Yeah, so my local team play in that.
Oh, really?
Or they used to. I don't even think they play. I think they're too good to play in it now. They're playing the FA Trophy. So basically, you have the FA Cup, which is league teams plus, you know, some non-league teams. Then the FA Trophy, which is like a certain tier of non-league teams. And then the FA VARs, which is like Sunday League. So yeah, it's really weird.
Teams playing in Step 5 and Step 6 of the English National League system.
There you go. Exactly. Yeah, Liz, I will not have disrespect on my singing. Okay. It is incredible. Everyone wants to hear it.
Kris, have you sang on this channel yet? I think you only sang on it.
No, I did some hula hooping as well.
That I remember the what were some of the
I said when we win a game I'll hula hoop on stream, and we didn't win a game for ages.
Again, this is the 1 year anniversary of the start of the channel. And so that was a time when we were very down bad on that channel.
We were so down bad.
Because we were talking about, like, you know, what were we gonna do? I said I was gonna run the streets naked. If we made the Champions League.
We got top 4, yeah.
You were like 8th at that point. Now, I ran the streets naked. There's no proof of this, but you have to trust my word. I definitely did run the streets naked.
Yeah, he definitely did get arrested as well. Cancel Jack.
But hey, it was all worth it. But back then, you know, no center backs that were fit. Really, I think low optimism for almost anything. Now, man, I feel like every match got to be heavily favored heading into it.
Every match apart from maybe Man City and maybe Chelsea.
Look,
that's as far as I would go.
With Diaz coming in to push Mane, I'm confident that City are beatable, man.
Oh, I wouldn't go that far. I still think Man City are, as a unit, the best team in the world. Individual players, I do think we are better across the park, but I do think that they are, as a unit, so elite They are unbelievably drilled into their style of play. They're frightening. I hate to be the burst of the bubble and to rain on your parade, Jack, but Manchester City are still Diaz or no Diaz, Carvalho or no Carvalho. They are the best team in world football at the moment.
I just think if Klopp has the pick of Thiago or Keita in the left center mid spot, Elliott or Henderson in the right center mid spot, or even Keita, shift them into there, with Diaz versus Mane, who's playing better at the moment, if he has a fit squad in a few months, we play them in, I believe, April. Again, title is very, very far off. What's the current standings? We're, I think, 8 points behind? 11 points behind?
Yeah, 11 with a game in hand, isn't it?
No, we're 9 points behind.
Behind with a game in hand, yeah.
9 points behind the game in hand. Chris, come on, man.
It's not. I'm not saying it's finished,
6
but I'm saying it's very much nearly done. And it's all in Manchester. It's all in Manchester City's hands.
Man, they have to play a lot of teams, man. They have 15 matches to hold a 6-point lead. And if you let's assume Liverpool win against Man City, which is a tough assumption, then you're only asking for realistically one match for you to kind of out them or beat them one off.
I'm still not happy, So
Chris,
this is a conflicting report here. Okay, so we've got a loan bag offer now for Paul Joyce. Let's have a look on Twitter. What's going on? What's popping?
Liverpool's £5 million offer for Fabio Carvalho allows him to stay at Fulham for the rest of the season. People are asking, is it accepted? Like, is it happening? Like,
is that on Paul Joyce's Twitter? Yeah,
it is. Yeah, I have his notifications on. So Paul Joyce,
incredible. He only tweets facts as well.
Bro, I was awake. Did I tell you about this story, Chris? When the Diaz news, and so it was.
Thank you so much for the donation, man. Really appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you, Norman. It was around 1:30 a.m. my time, and I was sitting there like, there is like a lot of news linking Diaz to Liverpool. This is Thursday morning or Friday morning, Thursday evening for me. Friday morning in the UK. I'm sitting there saying, maybe I should do a video on this. So I record a video to get it all written up, posted, heavily linked. And then I get uploaded to the channel, ready to be posted. Right when I upload it, Paul Joyce tweets, Liverpool in advanced negotiations. And I'm sitting there like, what on earth? So I re-record it, finish it, upload it again. Then David Ornstein and James Pierce tweet. I'm like, what the? And then I just finished it.
It's incredible.
When Paul Joyce tweets it, man, it's the only time it's really he tweeted and hasn't really happened was Fekir. But again, that only happens when
that was going to happen.
The club pulls out, a player pulls out, whatever reason that you can't really know, So it's really in that sense, just completely up to Carvalho at this point. Look, now that I've seen that Fulham play Man City in the FA Cup, I'm fine having him there. Just have him knock Man City out of the cup. Because as you mentioned, in England, I only think that, really City can kind of beat us one-on-one. Again, maybe, with Chelsea in the Carabao Cup finals, can be tough there, obviously. They're a very good side as well. But it's so reassuring. City obviously signed Julian Alvarez, which is a tough one because he's a very good player. But
he's not joining until the end of the season either.
In terms of actual players being brought in now, Arsenal and Tottenham are making a few moves. Are Arsenal making moves? Or are they still kind of just being...
Arsenal doing nothing. Arsenal are doing nothing, and Aubameyang might be leaving.
It's funny that Arsenal aren't doing anything. Spurs are doing something because Conte is like holding Conte at gunpoint.
Still haven't signed anyone, no.
Holding Levy at gunpoint. We're making the most moves right now, and that's just fantastic to see. But if Carvalho goes back out on loan, knocks City out of the cup, we draw Fulham in the next round. He's cup tied because he can't play against his side that not owns him, but he plays for, that he's on loan from. We knock him out because they're without one of their best players. Come on, Chris. It's a perfect world.
It would be, but as well, I mean, just to clarify as well for some people, I've seen some questions. The reason we're paying for Carvalho now instead of waiting to get him on a free in the summer is because the tribunal fee may actually be more than what we're paying. So,
Yes.
We would have to we would have to pay a tribunal fee that is up in the air. So to pay that £5 million, or I've seen 3.5 some other places, but Paul Joyce said 5 million, so that's fine. It's gonna be very, very sick. I'm so happy.
I mean, because Solanke, what did he fetch in the tribunal?
3 million, I think he was.
And Harvey Elliott was around 10, wasn't he?
No, he was about 4.5. But those two, Elliott was younger, and Solanke was from a direct rival, which I think are absolutely, I think they play into the tribunal fees. It's how they rank, how they're worth. So, yeah, I think Carvalho, because he's 19, is going to be quite a lot more. I don't know. It's going to be a strange one.
It is going to be a strange one.
But that's why we're paying the money now.
Yeah, I think it is interesting because you almost remove the doubt of how much would the tribunal compare, and by just bringing them in now. And I saw another theory that Liverpool are trying to outdo the Frank Lampard to Everton news, which is kind of funny.
It's Donny van der Beek.
It's Van de Beek. I said this a while back, actually. I think he'd be a great number 9 in Klopp's system. Like a great.
Oh, shut up, mate.
I think he'd be great.
Jack, you're starting to sound like prime Stonage in the side by talking about Oxlade-Chamberlain. Come on, bro. Sometimes you just need to be told bluntly. Just don't shush.
I'm glad you've come around on the Ox.
No. I'm still in the Ox in midfield. Like I love that. Right? But Donny van der Beek in midfield, in the 10, in the 9. No, he's far too slow.
All right, the bloody nose starting to flare up again. Maybe it's just bad takes that cause.
Yeah, there we go. Bad takes equals. Jack, you're getting some love on your your titling. By the way,
I did not. This is not my individual creativity. I saw a tweet, someone faking like that they were John Henry and said, "Who the expletive stole my wallet?" So that look, I'm a joke thief. I'm a joke thief.
Jack, you should have claimed it.
But that's worse off. That's like I can't in good consciousness.
Bro, respect to you. Thank you so much again. I mean, you can leave a comment if you want, but big love to you. We really respect it. Love you, bro. Virgil Ox, my missus has just asked. That's a difficult one. That's a really difficult one.
Chris.
What? No, I'm not. What are we talking? Football ability, like looks? Are we talking?
Chris, there's a right answer in every answer. Excuse me. Every question is a right answer. The exact same answer.
Absolutely, and that answer is Perry Edwards. So, therefore, Ox wins. She's cackling in the background. She can hear her. She's behind this green screen. This is the office, and she's behind the green screen, and I can hear her just cackling away. Bless her.
No, I will let you and your Oxlade love go away. But
no, to be fair, I love Virgil as well. I just called him Verge as well. I love him. To be fair. Who doesn't? I love every of our players. I've just got endless positivity right now. Yes, sweaty teen. Never thought I'd be saying that out of context.
That was a bit odd. That was a bit odd.
Out of context. Don't do this to me.
Let me go check Twitter, see if there's any updates on things.
Make out of context Kris Stonage thing. That would be incredible.
There's 4 minutes ago. 4 minutes ago, Joyce tweeting out Frank Lampard 2.5-year deal, Van de Beek on loan for Manchester United to be his first signing. We need to clip that. I'm gonna go through and download this and clip that as soon as I can and just post it on Twitter. Like no caption. My account on Twitter will become a Kris Stonage no context account.
But mate, there's so much on Anfield Agenda that I've said that will just get absolutely abused. I think I said
I saw like
Ox is better than Coutinho. It was one thing I said.
Fabio Carvalho, though, in comparison to Coutinho, could he be better than him?
Who knows? I think as a signing, I think right now the best signing is Carvalho. As a player right now, who knows? I mean, Coutinho did score in his debut, didn't he? And he played okay. So, yeah, I'm buzzing. I'm buzzing with Fabio, man. I'm really buzzing.
If he goes on to have a Coutinho-like contribution or playing, bring us back the kind of money Coutinho fetched us for even in comparison to the fee, it's a success, no doubt in the slightest. Coutinho is one of the best moves of business in Premier League history. But the latest on Carvalho, £5 million. Joyce tweeting a few minutes ago, £5 million bid for Liverpool. We'll see Carvalho be a Liverpool player, but will return to Fulham on loan for the remainder of the campaign. I can go either way on if it's better for him to join now or because it's always awkward whenever you're just signed and then you have to go back out on loan.
Yeah. Oh. By the way, this is coming up. So we've already got interviews. Sorry, Jack. Got interviews with Jose Enrique and Jeremy Injitap on the channel. We've now got coming up William Gallas, former Arsenal, Chelsea, Tottenham player as well, and former Liverpool backup goalkeeper Brad Friedel, who played soccer for the American national soccer team. Soccer. You know, we move.
It's and I almost feel bad, not bad for Charlie, but he dropped a great Enrique interview. I haven't had a chance to watch it yet, but that got then just buried because Diaz was announced, and we were like, all right, forget Jose Enrique. Let's go take a look at some of this new stuff. So if you have a chance, make sure to check out the Jose Enrique interview and subscribe for the future content we're pulling up because
so much coming up.
Yeah, we're doing it. Yeah, see, Kris, you've said the S word this stream more than I have. And I think that's fantastic because, as an American, I have to often fend off the always uneducated. I'm uneducated, but I know a decent amount about football, But
you had to try to say football, and you tried so hard.
It's a culture shift because when I talk to other people around me in my life, I don't want to confuse them about American football, where it's a bunch of just dudes in full-on gladiator armor hitting each other. I don't want to confuse them about that. I'm a fan of American football, but I don't want to confuse them and their small minds. But I have to always shift. When I get online with my UK friends, I have to talk football. To my American friends, I have to say the S word.
Exactly. But yeah, we've got so much coming up for you. We've got a video tomorrow on Christopher Nkunku going up from Tar as well. So lots of amazing stuff, as well as the interview with Pipe Sierra, the journalist who broke the Luis Diaz news, coming out later today.
We'll be wrapping this in a bit.
Lads,
Chris.
Lads, this is insane. Yeah, I'll just go at 1:30. Boys, we could just stay. We're all having a good vibe here today. Yeah. I mean, why the hell not? Why the hell not? We've got 300 of you in the chat. Make sure to share across with everyone that you know. So yeah, so just there for everyone who's new here in the chat. As Jack has mentioned, Paul Joyce tweeted very, very recently, I think about 5-10 minutes ago, that the deal is £5 million with a loan back option to Fulham. So there you go. It's looking good. Looking very, very good.
It makes a lot of sense, I think, to kind of lock him down before it becomes almost free for all when he's a free, at a good price, secure that kind of position for the summer. And I think it almost kind of offers us a bit more of a information to operate off of in the summer. When you have mentioned, Kris, that you expect a lot of moves to happen, it's for me, it makes a lot of sense to make 2 or 3 moves. I think Chouamani would be a good signing. I'm a big fan of his. I want to watch more of him. But also, it almost is really exciting to, follow Fulham now if he's loaned back. Because I'll just watch their matches now. They'll become a second club, basically. Like how Villa have become almost not a second club, but they've got half of our former players, our former captain as their manager. I'd make an effort to watch championship matches of Fulham. And actually,
it was like last season when Harvey Elliott was at Blackburn, almost. Mm-hmm. When everyone was just watching in Blackburn games, seeing if Harvey Elliott had contributed. It was amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, no. More news coming out. More news.
What on earth?
Everything's just popping off, guys. It's popping off.
Here's what's going to happen. At 6:29, it's going to be that he's signing, and you're going to be like, I got to go.
Yeah, I'd be like, I'm so sorry. Hyla's just coming with our stats now. The Liverpool bid for Carvalho is basically Carvalho stays the rest of the season. Taki for 20 million. Jack, is that a good deal?
Yes, very good deal. If it's for 20, does it say who they're going? Who he's going to?
Or just... No, it just says he's leaving. I mean, that's the 13 million profit on what we paid for him.
Look. It was always going to be a case with Minamino that he was going to be sold if there was a good deal. Yeah, Sky. He could leave to Liverpool tomorrow. He's valued around £20 million. Yeah, no, I think it makes sense because he will get more minutes elsewhere. We'll get a good amount of goals. A good amount of goals. I'd read Anthony's comment. Good amount of money, which is an impact. It is a thing, and we'll get a League Cup winners medal. So I think it makes
as well, Jack. I think we're talking about a player who's proven himself this season as not just a rotational option. I think he didn't really impress at Southampton. A lot of people seem to think he did. He didn't. He scored 2 goals, and apart from that, he was crap. This year, he's contributed to Liverpool's League Cup run. He's quality, He really, really is. Really, really is. And I think he can contribute to any club at the lower ends of the Premier League or even in Europe. I think he really is that good.
Yeah, I think. Look, people saying was Minamino a success or no? I think that what we bought him for was a backup option, very cheap deal. What did he do? He was a backup option. Got some pretty important goals, so that I think it's just he was, and he'll make a profit for us. When we signed him, was there the belief that he could be a good player? Yes, but he was obviously up against some other world-class players and world-class forwards. I just think that it makes sense for. Wow, this is more. It makes me very happy that these 3 guys are leaving because it means that my worries about the potential of Salah maybe being removed to kind of fund this stuff is lessened. It makes sense.
It does, and also when you're removing, apparently Nat Phillips is on 60k a week, which is I think is crazy, but if he is, he is. And Origi on similar money, and then you've got Minamino probably on similar money as well. I think that's £180,000 freed up that you can pay Mo Salah.
Yeah, no, I mean it always would make sense that I think that we need to shift some players out just for simple balance of the squad. To see, I would be slightly alarmed if Minamino and Origi left and Carvalho wasn't right now, because then all of a sudden you have 5 forwards. They're all 5 top class forwards. And there isn't really a match for the rest of the season that's like rotationable, because it's all going to be either League Cup matches, which one of them is a Carabao Cup final, FA Cup matches, Champions League matches, or Prem matches when we are, at the moment, still in a title race. We are as close to anybody to catch up to City. Like we have 2 matches in hand on Chelsea, who are 10 points off of the leaders. So I think that if anyone's to take them off title perch, it's gonna be us. And Kris, I believe, man. I believe. So right now, Kris, we're about what, 15 hours? No, excuse me, 29 hours out from the deadline. How many more players is Liverpool signing? Tell me why it isn't 2.
It's 1. It's gonna be 1. Carvalho will be in, and I do think that Phillips and Minamino will leave. I think Origi will stay until the end of the season, where he will leave, and then James Milner will leave, and then one of Oxlade-Chamberlain or Keita will leave. So look, you got to think about the bigger picture. There you go. I'm well up for it. I do think that this is the right way to go about, building a squad. We can't have the excess that Manchester City and Chelsea can afford, but we also have to buy quality when it's available, and we have done in that with Diaz and Carvalho. So yeah, I'm really, really excited for the rest of this season. I'm really, really excited for seasons coming.
Yeah, I think we're only a player or 2 short from a really strong squad, and that's all it takes is just having 1 or 2 just nice signings that just fit. And again, this side will always operate discreetly, silently, which is for us as a channel, Kris, it's infuriating to deal with. Not infuriating, but it's tough to deal with because on the drop of a hat, we go from on the 27th saying what's going to happen in the summer because nothing's happening now to drop of the hat. You have 2 signings. It's interesting. Here's a comment from Nomad, super chat, as a matter of fact.
Legend.
Klopp's famous 4-3-3 system in a more attacking way. Maybe aggressive left 8 next to Mane. or is he a backup for Mane? This is a great point. I think that Carvalho almost could signal this as well, where you have a left-sided trio that also is very attacking. You obviously couldn't have Carvalho and Elliott coexist as attacking eights. But I think that it's a very interesting point that we do need to kind of diversify because our attacking threat is not exclusively on the right side, but very much so we enjoy having an Elliott or Henderson, Salah, Trent, right-hand side. I think a left-hand side that Thiago could almost operate as that as well. So I think that this is very interesting. It's a possibility, Kris. I'm interested in your thoughts on maybe as an attacking left-hand side.
Yeah, I agree. Obviously, there's got to be balance. So I think only one or the other, and they have to work together in terms of when one pushes up and one stays back. I think you see that with Trent and Robertson. Trent pushes forward sometimes, Robertson pushes forward sometimes, and the other one fills in. It's really, really cool that we are able to have these discussions. On that left-hand side, I think Thiago could play there. I think Jones is a very, very good option there. I mean, I think always Curtis Jones gets forgotten in these conversations. Like, he is a star boy. We forget this. He is so, so good. And I'm sure Matty, despite the fact he's probably not awake from his absolute piss up last night, I think he'd be buzzing with me saying that. So yeah, we're in a very, very good place. And this is great. We're discussing this with the additions of Carvalho and Diaz.
I want to actually promo Chris O'Hare's video on the formations. I'm going to try and share my screen because I want to kind of showcase this really quickly.
Going to share his screen. We're going to take off the branding.
Take off the branding real quick if you can, Kris. Thank you very much. This will be very quick.
There we go.
If you look at this, you see Henderson kind of pushes out wide. This is what makes it a 4-2-3-1. 4 defenders, 2 midfielders, and then kind of like a 3 with Jota as the 9. Kind of almost invert that.
So you move Henderson across.
Yeah. You move Henderson across, or you even have a shifting of players. So you have it, so you can play a more attacking left-sided player as well. So that was a bit.
I don't think you can have both. If I'm
no, you
honest.
can't have both. You have to. But it offers you the chance to change because Klopp clearly likes an inverted player, a left footer on the right or a right footer on the left. So Carvalho could almost allow us to play a defensive right-sided 8, attacking left-sided 8, compared to what we do, which is the inverse at the moment. And having that kind of flexibility, because if sides can predict how Liverpool will attack ahead of the match itself, before they even see the lineup. If you cause them to have second guesses, like, oh, could they play Carvalho or Elliott? Which side is going to be attacking us more today? That I think is going to be really interesting.
And then you can change that for the specific opposition that you play as well.
Exactly. Because some sides are inverting themselves. Not inverting themselves, but then you can almost invert yourselves against certain sides that make you a bit better. And it gives you just better depth overall. It's a very interesting comment there from Noam. And thank you again for the super chat.
Absolutely. Well, I'm going to head off now, I think. So we have got an interview coming out with the guy who broke the Diaz transfer, Pipe Sierra, up on the channel very, very shortly. I'm going to do the interview not live, and then I'm going to make it a video just so I can make a nice little sexy thumbnail and have lots of time doing that. But yeah, thank you so much for everyone for coming into the stream. It's been really appreciated. Yes, thank you everyone for coming in. It's on our 1-year anniversary. It was a historic day in terms of our numbers. So really appreciate everyone for coming in. We'll have a video obviously with Sierra. We'll have a deadline day stream. Kris, are you going to be on that? I won't be able to be on that. I probably won't be unless it's early, but if it's slightly earlier, I will be there. Maybe we do multiple, Kris. We could do multiple, and also we'll probably I won't promise this, but we'll probably have videos on Nico and maybe Takakumi Minamino as well. But yeah, thank you so much. Really, this is a bit late, but thank you so much. Yes, no, it's a great point there as well. It's very fascinating what happens on the road. But thank you everyone for coming on. One of our best streams we've ever done here on the Transfer Room YouTube page. I've been Jack. That's been Kris. We'll be back very soon, so make sure you subscribe, and we'll see you in a little bit. This has been a stream from the LFC Transfer Room.